this is going to be kind of tricky to film. I've dropped the carrier with a crown wheel into the housing, and I've started to put the wheels in here. Well, this is a spare one. These in here. Now you'll be very grateful that you stamped these caps, because you can get them mixed up. What's the problem? There's a thread inside both of them, and you don't want to cross thread these things. They are tricky to get started, and use of this tool is recommended, or something similar, rather than using a hammer and a punch. So I just printed out the book of words. Oh, and by the way, I haven't put the seal in there yet, just in case I have to take everything to bits. But I've set it up like that, just a little bit loose. Now, there is a specific way of doing this. So you make sure that these bolts here are not tight. You know, you don't want them too tight, because you've got to move the diff a bit. You've got to move it this way, right? I've just been playing around with it, that's all, the diff that is. Right, so, can you hear? Got a bit of backlash. That's okay, but it's the wrong way. So what we want to do, in order to get preload on those bearings, is we slowly tighten this up until the backlash is gone. Still there. Might have to back this off a little bit or undo the caps. Come on, go in. Oh, that's interesting. When I backed that off, the backlash went. Alright, so let's have another look at that. I think that might have been just a bit tight. So we put this tool in, back this off. A little bit of backlash. So we're going to tighten this side up until that backlash is gone. Still a bit there. You don't have to whisper, but it's advisable, because you don't want to wake it up. There. The backlash is now gone. So I've set up my gauge here, and I'm going to zero it. And the backlash should be, where is it now? 4 to 7 thousandths of an inch. So by putting load onto this cap here, we're going to push the diff across, and at the same time get the backlash correct, and put the preload on the bearing. So here we go. Can you hear it? If anybody's into electronics and knows how to access the inside of here, because there's a plug on the inside, and I would really like to have a remote button, you know, just to reset this, because it's a pain in the ass. Right, this is better. This is a better setup with the dial gauge on here. So I've got this set to 0, and I have 6. And it was saying we had to have 4 to 7. So 4 to 7, we need to back this off a bit. It's too tight. So I'm going to do this again, because there's quite a few things you've got to consider when tightening this carrier down, you know, with these bearings. The first couple of times I did it, I didn't realise that when I was tightening these, you have to allow for that little ring to, that little lock plate to go in. Well, I had it all set up and I couldn't get the plate in. So yeah, so we're going to do it again. I've got my dial gauge set up on here. Both sides are loose. So what we do is we back this one off. Oh, damn, it's too tight. They are a bit tricky to set up. So you want these bolts loose so you can turn these back. Now again, I can't remember which episode I mentioned it in, but you'll be happy that you marked up these with the centre punch, because if you get them the wrong way around, there's a good chance that the internal thread won't line up. Alright, so just bear that in mind. So that's nice and loose now. What we need to do is tighten this up until there's no backlash in it at all. Alright, we're going to eliminate that backlash, but at the same time we're going to make sure that those little things here are going to line up with the slot for the pin. You'll get it. Right. There we go. I'm going to back that off a bit. So you see that? See, I've got a bit of backlash in there, but if I tighten it up, I'm going to go one notch over. These are the things I never appreciated before. Yeah. Now, we should have no backlash. Indeed we haven't. So, what we can do, we've set that one, that's not going anywhere. Now we move to this side and we're going to tighten this up until we get between 4 and 7/1000 of an inch. So in effect what we're doing is we're using this screw here to push the whole assembly across to get backlash, but at the same time it's going to put preload on this. Wait a minute, I have to go. Well, to finish this video off, I put some marking on the teeth. Seems to be pretty good. I made a childish schoolboy type error of putting some oil on as well. But you can see the pattern's pretty reasonable. It's pretty good, that. Turns nice. It's just got that little 4/1000 bit of backlash in it. These are the bits I was talking about, trying to get that lined up, because to get it perfect, before I had this piece in the middle and I didn't realise that, so it seems to be good. It's okay this side as well, you know, it's pretty good, isn't it? I'll clean it all up, and then the last thing to do is put the oil seal in. Now we've all done oil seals before, but I think there might be something special with this one, so let's get it on the bench and get all our toys put away, because we've got some work to do. We should go.